Slowly moving into cross-legged position or in diamond, sitting back on your heels. If you're in a cross-legged position, just have a cushion behind you or underneath you just to sit on the edge of it and tilting it. Your pelvis forward just keeps that natural curve in the spine. And we're going to come into stillness, closing down the eyes. Start to focus on the breath. Feeling the cool sensation entering and the warm sensation exiting. Focusing on the breath and even the feel of the air going into our nostrils. Just brings us into the present moment and stops our mind from wandering. Sitting up nice and tall, making sure the shoulder blades are drawn at the back to lengthen out that spine. This session we're going to bring some extra energy and circulation through our body, but in particular around our hips and our waist area, upper limbs. Setting the intention for the rest of the day, what today's going to bring for you. Energy you'll feel, type of energy you'll allow to come into your space. And coming back to the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Breathing out. If you feel lightheaded or dizzy when we're doing any breathing techniques, you can always come back to the normal breath. Go through any of the poses. If anything starts to hurt, usually gone a little bit too far, so just back off slightly. And as we're sitting in stillness, we're going to move into alternate nostril breathing. This is where we bring up our right index finger and middle finger to in between our eyebrows, and then we open and close our left and right nostril with the right with our thumb, left with our inside of our ring finger. Exhale all the air out of the lungs. Then blocking the right nostril, we breathe back through the left. Light hold, blocking the left nostril, release the right, and exhale through the right. Keeping the right open, breathing back through the right. Blocking the right, releasing the left, and exhaling back through the left. One round. We're going to do another 4. We're going to do 5 altogether. So breathing back through the left. Blocking the left out through the right. Back up through the right. Block the right out through the left. That's 2 rounds. So continue for the final 3. Doesn't matter if you get lost in the count or lost which side you're on, as long as we finish up exhaling out of the left nostril. We're already in that balance of our left to right side of the brain. Increased prana, life force energy through the body. Slowing the mind, slowing the body. Make this the last round you're on now. Make sure we're exhaling out of the left nostril to finish up wherever you're at. When you finish that round, that's when you're finishing. Keep the eyes closed, just lowering the right hand back down to the knee. So it's going to start to bring some movement into the body now, so we can stay in this position where we're seated. So if you are on a cushion, just move that out to the side. What we're going to do is rotations with our upper body to really get some movement into the lower part of our spine, also around our hips and waist area. So what we do is, as we breathe in, we lean forward. Doesn't have to be much. And then as we start to exhale, taking yourself over to one side, and then all the way back, and then look at the other side. As we exhale, leaning forward, rotating the upper body, keeping the neck nice and still so the head's not necessarily moving. So try to keep the neck still. That's all we're moving is our upper body. So almost as if we're gazing directly forward, not gazing out to the side. We're just, our upper neck is following the lower part of the body as it moves around, nice and slowly. Then we're going to go back the other way with control, nice flowing movement. We're not forcing any movement, we're allowing the upper body to flow freely. No jerking with the breath is nice and smooth. And then back into the center again. We're going to take our legs out in front, just give a little bit of a shake. We're going to come back into that cross-legged position in a minute. We've got one more movement in that position. Excellent. And then bending your legs again, bringing your feet back in. Then we're going to do like a seated cat pose. So instead of Vinyasa or cat pose, we're on our hands and knees. We're actually going to do it seated. So as we exhale, we draw our chin in, draw the belly back in, rounding the spine. And as we inhale, lifting the chest, lift the head comes all the way up. Big squeeze of the shoulders at the back, so a nice opening of the chest. And then rounding the spine again on the exhale. Coming down, tucking your chin in, drawing your belly back in, arching the spine. Almost rolling the shoulders in or forward, and then inhale. Big opening of the front of the body, squeezing the shoulders together at the back. Continue with your own flow, exhaling as you come back down again. Inhale as we come up. Again, we've got a smooth transition between the movements. Smooth flowing transition between the breath. Do one more full round. Exhale as we come down. Inhale as we come up and forward. Big squeeze in the back, opening up the chest, gazing up. This one we're going to stay up and open and close the mouth a few times. Feel that big stretch down the front of the throat. Excellent, and then coming back to a neutral spine. Excellent. And then we just take our legs out and start giving a little bit of a shake out. Beautiful. Now we're going to take our feet out to one side, then come up. We're going to sit back into diamond. Just with our knees and feet together, bring the hands under the thighs, closing down the eyes. Now you want to feel a length in the spine, still opening of the chest as we're squeezing our shoulders to the back. The posture erect, upright. Excellent. Now we're going to move into a frog pose. So what we're going to do is come off our heels and then just take your knees out wider than hip width apart, and then flatten out the feet so that the inside of the feet will be flat on the floor, and splayed out to the side. And then you want to keep the right angle between, or to start off with anyway, between the upper leg and the shin and the calf, and then a right angle between the foot and the shin. And all we do with frog pose, take a nice big breath in, and then we start to take our bottom back towards our feet. It doesn't have to be very far. You can come down into your elbows and then slowly walk back the elbows until you start to feel a big stretch the inside of the upper legs. Because it's such a strong pose, these inside stretches for the legs. It's making sure we're not jerking or moving any sudden movements. Once you've found a spot that's slightly uncomfortable, we're just going to sit in this position. Breathing rhythmically and evenly in and out through the nose. Releasing any tension in the inside of the upper legs. Another 10 seconds. Excellent. Now to come out of the pose, all we do is come up onto our hands and then walk our hands forward, shifting the upper body forward to release any tension in the legs. And then we're just going to bring our knees together nice and slowly, and then we're going to sit back into diamond again. Bring our hands to the thighs, closing down the eyes. Excellent. Now we've done the inside of our legs, we're going to start to stretch the outside of our upper legs now. So coming back, taking the feet out to one side, coming back onto the bottom. Take your legs out in front first, give them a little bit of a shake, make sure we're keeping the energy flow through them. Excellent. Then we're going to tuck our right foot in, all the way in, and we're going to move into a cow face pose. So this is the one where we take our aim to get our foot around the outside of the inside knee, so the right knee in this particular case. So if it's too much, just take your foot around to the in front of the knee, or you can bring it all the way around, depending on how you're feeling this morning. The full cow face pose is actually when we've got our knees stacked on top of one another, our feet going out to the side. But if that's too strong, just bring the foot around as much as you can, either in front of the knee or around just to the side. Then we're going to take a nice big breath in, and then slowly lean forward. If you're not feeling any stretch to the upper outside of the legs, take the foot out to the side more. You can lean forward. You can either have your hands on your front knee or behind, just beside you, palms facing down. And then we're going to sit in this position. Now this is probably going to feel, if you do a lot of sitting or even walking, this might feel very uncomfortable because these are super strong pose at the outside of the legs. And that's why we do it. Release any tension in the upper outside of the legs. Bring the focus onto the breath. And 10 seconds. Excellent. Then releasing, coming back up again, taking both legs out in front, doing a little bit of a shake out before we move on to the next side. Excellent. And then we're going to bring the other foot in, and then taking the other foot, the right foot around to the just in front or to the outside. You might need to lift your bottom up even just to get that bit of a reset of the position of your bottom. And then nice big breath in, and then gently folding forward slightly, or leaning forward. Doesn't have to be too much. Now this side might feel completely different. As an example, for me, this side feels a little bit more tense on one side for some reason, and that's why we're doing both sides to bring that balance into our body. So we've balanced out the mind with the breath, and now we're balancing out our physical body with the poses. Relaxing into the pose, releasing, allowing it to happen, or allowing the release to happen by using the breath, calming the body. Another 10 seconds or so on the side. Excellent. And then breathing, coming back up again, picking up both legs, taking them out in front, and then we're going to get another little bit of a shake out. Excellent. We're going to bend our legs, take our feet out to one side, very slowly come up onto our hands and knees now. And before we move to standing, we're just going to come into a resetting pose, so wide knee child's pose, so big toes touching, knees nice and wide, then sliding arms out in front. Bring the head and chest down onto the floor, or towards the floor. Feeling the body going back. Also the arms coming forward, and then the chest down towards the floor. So it's a very grounded position, resetting, rejuvenating. Feel down during the day or any time during the day, you need a bit of a pep up. Pose like child pose is perfect. Slow our body down, but also we're taking blood to the head, and our head down. Rejuvenating. Bringing vitality into the brain. Excellent. Now the next in breath, we back up onto your hands and knees, walking your knees into the underneath the hips, and then we're going to come up to a standing. So you want to curl the back toes under, taking the other foot out in front, and then pushing off the front knee very slowly with control. Just coming up to standing position. Bring your feet hip width apart, softening the knees, take the arms from side to side. Excellent. Then back into the center again. We're going to come into a balancing pose now. Bring some strength to our legs as well. So bring your hands onto the waist to start with. Bring all the weight onto the right leg. And then all we're going to do is bring the left around so the big toe, the heel is touching the big toe. So that our feet are in alignment. So let's stand side on. That's what it's going to look like. And then we're going to bend both the back knee especially, and then lock the inside of our knees together. Into a balance, and the tighter you have the inside of the knees, the stronger the balance, or more balance you'll feel. And then find a point that's not moving in front. But if we're going to take it a little bit further, we're going to interlock our fingers for that index finger and thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. So you can either leave the hands under the waist, or you can take the hands straight up towards the ceiling, lengthening out the arms, lengthening out the side of the back, the whole spine. Breathing rhythmically in and out through the nose. About another 10 seconds. If you've got the hands up in the air, just take them out to the side with the exhale. Turning the palms down nice and slowly as you bring them down. And then we're going to release our legs, give your arms and legs a little bit of a shake out. Excellent. Then we're going to move on to the other side now. So bring the hands on the waist to start with. Bring all the weight onto the opposite leg. Bring the heel around to touch the foot. And then bending, especially the back knee, to lock the two knees together, the inside of the knees. And then interlocking your fingers again, and then taking the hands straight up towards the ceiling. You can keep them on the waist if that's better for you this morning. Finding a point in front that's not moving to help you with the dristy point, to help you with the balance. Again, this side might feel a little bit different, or it might be the same. Just bringing that awareness in, listening to our body, what it needs. Might need longer on this side, or might need longer on the other side. So there's something we could do anytime during the day, bring that balance in. Go to the 10 seconds. Excellent. If you've got your hands in the mudra, we're just going to release them and take the arms out the side again. When you get to shoulder height, turn the palms down nice and slowly with control, lower the hands down, and then releasing the whole body again. Give your legs and arms a little bit of a shake. And bring the feet hip width apart, soften their knees, and then resetting the whole body. Just taking the arms around to each side. Excellent. And then back into the center again. We're going to come back down to being on the floor. So we're going to take our one foot out in front and then very gently lower the back knee down, nice and slowly, and uncurl the toes of the back foot. And then make sure the foot and the knee, even though they're not together, there's one's in front, one's behind. Just make sure they're about shoulder width or hip width apart. So you want to make sure they've got that balance. Can take the foot out to the side a little bit more if you need a little bit more balance. And then bring the hands onto the waist, gazing forward. And then we're going to come into a lunge. And then as we exhale, what we're doing is lowering our hips down towards the floor, stretching out the upper back leg, also the inside of the leg again. Making sure the front shin is relatively perpendicular to the floor. You can see, glance down and see at least the two big toes of the inside of the front knee. Drawing the shoulder blades together at the back. Breathing rhythmically and evenly. And then we're going to stay down here with our hips. All we're going to do is interlock or forming that mudra again that we just did. And then breathing in, taking the hands straight up towards the ceiling. So you can feel the energy flow coming up, but also we're coming down as well. So it's quite a balance with the energy as well. Breathing as well at the same time. So just make sure when we come up with our arms, we're not lifting our hips up. We're actually keeping them down towards the floor. We're breathing rhythmically and evenly. Excellent. And then releasing the hands back down onto the floor. And then all we're going to do, coming on fingertips, is walking back, so taking your bottom back, keeping the front heel out, and then straighten out the front leg. If you need something to lean on for balance, you can do that as well, or come over to one side to keep the balance. And then you might need to stay on fingertips, or you can come off the floor. As long as you feel the stretch down the back. If you're coming off the floor, you might need to flex the foot back a little bit further, or if you're leaning forward, you're probably going to feel it straight away, that stretch down the back of the front leg. Stretching out all the way from our heel, all the way up to the upper leg, which continues all the way up the spine as well. Excellent. And then just bring the hands back down to the floor if they're off the floor, otherwise bending the front knee, and then bring both hands to the inside of the front foot, and then we'll step that foot out, the front foot back. And we're going to swap it over and bring the other one forward. Again, making sure they're about hip width apart, or they're splayed out. Bring the hands onto the waist. Nice big breath in, and then exhaling. Taking the hips down towards the floor. Moving the front foot around if you need to make sure the shin is relatively perpendicular. Feeling the stretch, the opening of the upper leg, back leg. And then we're going to interlock our fingers again. Maybe try interlocking them the other way, to not more the natural way that you normally do. So maybe swapping it over and then taking the hands straight up. Again, making sure we're not coming up with the hips, we're staying down, keeping our arms going up, gazing forward. Excellent. And then lowering the hands down onto the floor, and then staying on fingertips or coming off, whatever's best for you this morning, and then straighten out the front leg, flexing the foot back towards you. Making sure we're feeling a stretched back of the straight leg. If you're not, flex the foot back in further, back towards you. If you've got super tight back hamstrings, you can bend the legs slightly if it's too strong as well. Excellent. And then if your hands are off the floor, bringing them back onto the floor, and then coming back with the foot down, and then bring the hands to the inside of the front foot, and then stepping that foot back, and then we're going to sit back in the diamond again, closing down the eyes, bring the hands under the thighs. Your legs should be starting, and hips and waist should be starting to feel a little bit different to when we first started. Excellent. Now we're going to walk our hands out in front, coming off our heels, and then we're going to move into a plank. So we want to make sure the hands are directly underneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart, and then straighten out the legs, curl the toes under, lift the knees off the floor. Make sure we're not in a downward dog. Actually, our bottom's going down, so you want to feel you've got a nice flat back, strong arms and shoulders and core holding you up. Now we're going to step the right knee forward. We're going to move into a pigeon pose. Uncurl the left toes, having the right foot going out slightly to the side, and then nice deep breath in as we gaze forward. And then exhale, coming down with the elbows. Now you should be feeling a stretch to the upper right leg. If you're not, take the left leg back further, or shift your weight over slightly to the right, or do both until you find that spot that's slightly uncomfortable in the upper right leg. And coming into stillness. You can form fists and stack your fists on top of one another to rest your forehead on the hands if you need to support your neck as well. About another 10 seconds on this side. Excellent. And then to come out of the pose, curling your back toes under, shifting your weight forward as you come up onto your hands again. And then we're going to take the right foot back in another plank. And then stepping the left. Uncurl the right toes. Breathing in as we gaze forward. And then exhale, coming down with the elbows. The left foot will be going out to the right slightly, making sure there's no tension on the knee. Bring the foot back underneath the body further if you need to. Make sure there's no tension on the knee at all. Shifting your weight back and sideways until you find that spot slightly uncomfortable. About another 10 seconds. Excellent. And curling the back toes under again, shifting your weight forward, coming up onto your hands, taking the left foot back into another plank. Excellent. And then lowering the knees down. And then we're going to turn our whole body around, all the way around, and we're going to move straight into relaxation pose. So we're going to come down with mindful, controlled movements, either having the hands on the knees, off the knees, coming down to the elbows, but nice and slowly all the way down, fully coming into Shavasana, Savasana, corpse pose. So walking the shoulder blades in towards one another. You can have your legs bent, your knees coming together for support, taking your legs out straight along the floor, closing down the eyes, gently sealing the lips, walking the shoulder blades in. And then coming into complete stillness, allowing the whole body to relax. Whole body is relaxed. Whole body. And the whole body relaxes and soften down towards the floor. We're going to stay a few more minutes until you hear my voice come back on again. very slowly start to bring the awareness back in, feeling the beautiful support floors, giving your whole body, gently wriggling your fingers and toes. And taking your head over to one side on the next exhale. You can move your feet and your hands if you wish to as well, just getting some more movement in. Center again. Big, beautiful body stretch, pointing your toes away from you, the fingers away from you, stretching out the whole body. Excellent. And then breathing in, bring the hands back up again on the in-breath, and then exhaling, lowering back down again. Feeling your knees, hugging your knees in toward your chest, so wrapping your hands around the knees. Big squeeze in as we gently rock from side to side. Keeping their eyes closed, bring their palms together in front of the heart. And then I'll just read out a quote that's going to finish us off for today. I tune out of all the noise and confusion of this world and tune into space of infinite peace and love inside my heart. Bowing the head in honor of yourself, taking out the time this morning to bring some ease and balance and life energy through the whole body. So a bit of a mix again this morning. If you set an intention, bring that in the forefront of the mind and take that and the peace you're feeling right now into your day. Thank you for allowing me to come into your space, be your guide this morning. Namaste. Hope you're feeling fabulous. Have a super day and we'll catch you again very soon.